Hey guys. Tom's got early start tomorrow. Oh gosh, I've got to stop doing that. Sorry about the focus. Joseph's on new meds, which is excellent because he doesn't ever stop watching YouTube videos as it is, so that's awesome. Mike, g'day. Um, new video in the tool making competition. There you go. Um, yeah, Craig, I think Mr. Pete's comment was don't waste your money on automobiles and other foolishness. He said that before. Um, yeah, it's very true. Anyway, good video from PGS. Peter sent in an entry to the tool making competition. He's entered every year. His videos are getting, well, there's nothing too shabby about that one. It's a good casting video, making a bandsaw table, which is very popular at the moment. Saw Tommy guns this week. I'm over here at the lathe. This isn't a trick, actually. This is where the camera's actually set up, because this is what I've been doing. It's only clean bit of bench space. This place is like Gillian Jiggs' bedroom, actually, at the moment. It's kind of this stuff everywhere, as you probably can guess. Nice new bandsaw, saw Glenn. Man Cave Machine has bought a new bandsaw. Things must be looking up. Stuart would be very, very keen to see pictures of them. Thanks, Joseph. This thread, here we go. It's a mystery. I've bit the bullet and bought a new lathe chuck because the old ones, I think the word I used on Instagram was munted, and people had to go and look that up because apparently it's Australian or New Zealand or colloquialism that no one's ever heard of. No one's ever seen something that's actually munted. But that's what it was. We'll have a look at it. Ugh. Right, this is the chuck key. I'm not sure where I even got this chuck from, to be honest. I think it was with the lathe when I bought it, and it was probably the better part of the whole deal. It wasn't a bad chuck, and it hasn't got a lot of run out. It's made in Poland, and it's all chipped in here and broken through here, which is a bit rough. The back plate hasn't seated properly because it's probably the wrong thread, and someone's got a couple of little round Phillips head or countersink head screws and screwed another spacer on the back of it to give it a bit more space, and it's also been reused for about 4 different chucks, so it's kind of a bit ordinary, and it doesn't have reverse jaws. So I've ordered a new one of these, which is just Hare and Forbes Toolmaster or whatever they want to call it. But as John Creasy pointed out, it's probably the cheapest one available at the moment in Australia and the quickest. However, they are sending it from Melbourne, which is useful. So it's going to be here about the middle of next week, I reckon. Yeah, but you're responsible for your back tyre, Fridge. Probably, I'm trying to get my mill accessories, Craig, and my lathe accessories all interchangeable. Not sure how that's working yet, but because I've made a little discovery with this. This is a faceplate that John Creasy made. And this thread, I believe, is 25 by 2.5, 60 degree. It's fairly loose. It screws up all right, and it's nice and... Whoa! It wasn't on there tight last night, but it is now. Yeah, end of live stream. Can't get that off. Not going to happen. Wow. That's it. Hey, Thomas. Look, special hammer, and someone will recognize this. This is a pretty nice hammer. No, for some reason that's really tight. There we go. I didn't think I did it up very tight last night. So John Creasy made this, and it's pretty nice. I'm going to have to stone that up now. And this thread's a little bit loose. If we put this on here, we've got some wobble. So that's all very well because it locks up on the back here on the flange beautifully, and it runs nice and true, and there's no problems with it. This is genuine launch. This is the drive plate. This is genuine launch. This goes on here with nearly no wobble at all. It locks up nice, runs nice. And I've got a couple of other accessories that are the same. But on further inspection, because I'm going to make a new backplate for a new chuck with a locking collar so that I can run this thing in reverse if I need to, it probably needs to be a really good fit on here. And Max, you're probably right. It's a bison, I would say, or something like that. It's not a bad chuck. It's a good chuck, actually. Just I can't get reverse gauze for it. So I spent $112 plus postage or something on a new Chinese one, which we'll see how good it is. The bison that I priced through a place in Melbourne, Qualos, was about $600 for the same chuck, more or less. So I'm sure it was probably $400 better. But right now, I'm not going to run to that. I'm trying not to. So I had to find out what this thread is anyway. I posted some pictures on Instagram and Facebook, and a couple of people, including someone that I have a lot of respect for who does up old lathes, and left Practical Machinist Forum years ago, about when I did, and seems to have turned up on Instagram with the same machines. It's the same guy, and I got to know him a bit again. He says that it's BSF. It's definitely 10 TPI. It's not 2.5 millimeter. And it's definitely undersized for inch. But what I'm going to do is make a brass collar 1 inch BSF, which is 1 inch 10, and see how that screws on. And if we can get it really nice, then we'll make a back plate to match. And we'll put a clamp collar on the back so that it doesn't move, I think, is probably the answer. But it needs to be a good thread first so that it doesn't have to grip clamp too much. So there we are. Hope you're coming all right, Max. All you old guys. Yeah, all you old guys. I'm feeling a bit old too tonight too. New video from Tom Lipton last night, which is awesome. Age doesn't come into it. Watched watched Tom Lipton last night, in the middle of the night when he posted his videos, and I must be getting old too because yeah, I'm starting to think Tom's got what it takes. Really, he's not unattractive at all. But anyway, you can pass that on from me. So I'm getting old too. I like Tom, and he's an awesome guy, and got some very nice tools that come from Tom Lipton. But Tom's video on grinding vice is not a subject that is crazy interesting to me, but he makes it interesting. Anyway, this is inch BSP, and I'm going to make a back plate. Thanks, Craig. Craig Marshall sent had a piece of cast iron that he roughed out for me last night and put in the post today. So I've got a back plate coming. So that's half the job done. I'm going to have to set it up in the forge jaw and bore it and thread it, make a collar for it, and fit the chuck on it. You might get a video about that. I should make more videos. I'm really feeling a bit like the counter's working again. Yeah, that's a VFD. But yeah, I hope it is his channel Endro because that's pretty awesome. Anyway, I'm sort of thinking about videos and thinking, gosh, they're hard work, but it's all good and I don't really mind at all. Got to be in the mood. And lately there's been podcasts and things that have been playing in the background while I've been in the workshop. So I've been making excuses about that. So apologise for the lack of videos. Take care, Max. Enjoy your dinner. Paddy, I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer. Pretty sure I watched it, Stephen. But it's the same. It's kind of keeping it young and sort of keeping it exciting is a bit difficult. It's pretty hard work. Anyway, there was some discussion about whether this was 55 or 60 degrees, and I haven't got a clue, really. And I thought it might have been 53 degrees 8 minutes, which is Löwenhülse. Löwenhertz, which is the German precision thread from the turn of the century, which predates BA, really. But it's not, thank goodness. And looking at it, it's rounded over a bit. I reckon it's either 60 or 55, and it probably doesn't matter. And BSF's 55, so I'm going to try that. Dennis, we're going to have to come and sort you out. Love to see a South Band update. And even just a homesteader update, Dennis. Paddy, expect videos on the right breakfast whiskey. That might be a really good channel for you. I think it was 55 originally. I think it's rounded over a bit. So we're going to go with 55 because I think the root's probably 55. The outside, the top's probably 60. Someone had a good idea to set up a shadow board, and I've done that and had a bit of a look with a decent light, and really it's kind of a bit rounded, so we're going to go with 55. But I made up points just to check, which is why the compound's round on an angle, if you have a look. And I don't know, I'm going to go with 55 because that might be what it is, or it might not. Projects on this, there's still stuff to do on this. It's nowhere near finished. I've still got a flat tire on the lathe gantry, and I've got a mess everywhere. This is my dirty bench over here. Just ignore this bench. We should have put a piece of cardboard up there so no one sees this bench. Because people ask about projects and stuff. Well, yeah, Gary, it sort of needs to be right. This one. We'll just make a nut and try it. That's right, Gary. Bruce had a really good idea. If you make a nut, drill a hole in the side of it and deburr it, and then you can see where the thing's actually touching, which is really, really smart idea, actually. Up here for thinking. Bruce has obviously done this before. So projects on this still. We've still got to work out some sort of a system for coupling the, which is just here in the junk where I drop the hammer and the plate and everything else. It gets cleaned up periodically, but it's a catch-all for things that need to be put away, really. So we need to work out, is this going to fall off? No. We need to work out some sort of a system here. To couple this to here so that it's quick to release and it's positive and there's no backlash and it's not going to back up the end of the shaft every time you tighten the grub screws up. So that's a work in progress. We also need a handle for here to lock it down. That's a work in progress. We need to finish this here because I had to move this gear because of our spacing, and I need to sort that out so it doesn't come loose eventually. That's another job. And what else does it need? It needs the other project, or the other job is the the kick out here. So it needs a lever, probably down here, with a lever across, something like that. I think if I could put something, even if I put something down, I don't really want anything back in here, but if I could put something down here with a micrometer adjuster or something like that so that I can adjust this so it kicks out in the right spot, I'd be pretty happy about that. So we're still thinking about that. I'm not sure this will ever be finished, but there we go. You can cut your own thread, but I have genuine launch accessories for this, and I'm still looking for genuine launch accessories. Before the pandemic hit, I bought a faceplate for this, a genuine faceplate, which I really have been looking for a long time, 3-dog faceplate. And that's still in Germany, of course, but when it gets here, I'd like it to fit. So that's why I don't want to do that. But it runs in reverse. These chucks mount on a collet spindle, so they reverse fine. I've got this one and the 3-jaw reverse fine. Collets all reverse fine. It's just the big chucks, the 3-jaw or the new 3-jaw, which needs to be sorted out when I set it up, and the big 4-jaw. I want to make a guard. This probably a cast aluminium guard here. Something like that to go on here that looks good. I think probably with Lorch cast in it or something like that to match. That's the theory here. And I want to make a guard for... See, I told you about that. Here we go. I've actually got real lights here again. I sort of had a monumental stuff up when I set up this lathe, and it took me a long time to work out what was wrong. But when I wired up this light, which is 12 volt DC lamp, I converted this old light to 12 volt DC globe. There we go. We'll put it down there so you can actually see it, which is really nice. And I put 12 volt DC up the top with the light, and I'm not sure I'm happy with that yet, but it's just magnetic, so we're going to put it somewhere else if it's not right. Might be better to turn that one on and turn this one off, eh? Is that better? That's better. Okay, how cool is that? We have lights. So I want to make a guard to go around these two, up about this tall, in cast aluminium with Lorch on it too, to match, and paint it to match this. And I think that'd be really nice to do that. So that's another job that I've been putting off for a long time till I got that second belt in there. Something I didn't mention in that video about the belts running backwards is that this one here is crossed over, and I think that's what the noise is that whine is the belt running together there, and this one's just straight. I'm probably not going to split the thread either. I'm going to make this fit, and I reckon we can get a thou or something on just a clamp on the outside with a decent bolt to clamp it down onto the thread and get it tight. I think that's going to be enough, but we'll see how we go with that. We'll get it a good fit, and if we need to split it, we probably will, but I don't like that very much. There you go. To be honest, Gary, that's probably not a stupid idea at all, and it's something I'm thinking about, but I've only got about 10 millimeters there. a friction block like a nylock nut's probably a really, really good idea. And stop it going too tight so I can't get it undone either. Even my little 8-inch Craig, I don't really want it dropping off or spinning off through the ceiling or something. This has a much less soft start than your VFD will. VFD is pretty forgiving. This thing will pull up in about 2 thou. In fact, with this knockout, if you put a spacer in here, if you put a spacer in here with the knockout, it stops within 0.01, 0.02 of the same place in the dial every time repeatedly. So I'm really happy with that. And this thing here in backlash has about 0.1 of, not even 0.05 or something of a millimeter backlash in the whole thing. So it stops pretty quick and pulls back out. So on the I guess I'm saying there's no freewheeling in the whole system, so we should be able to pull up and pull up to a shoulder exactly right every time by stopping it with overhead drive. So that's pretty awesome, I think. Stage 2 of this whole project, when we get some guards and things on, and we've still got to put a guard on here of some sort. Hey, Casual Steel. Hey, everyone else who joined in too. Good day. If I didn't call out everyone because you've been here for 20 minutes before I got here, and there's a lot of you. But this needs a guard on it. And probably it's going to be bolted on here with a cast aluminium guard and a door over the front. I think that's sort of what I've sketched out. So we're gonna make a half moon piece to bolt on here with 2 screws on the side, and a round guard 30mm deep, something like that here. Probably with 2 pins so you can take the outside cover off, something like that. Just with 2 pins or 2 bolts or 2 pins in a circlip, which are probably going to rattle. But maybe even a couple of thumb screws, which will come undone and rattle anyway. I'm not sure yet, but that's what I'm thinking for this. We have to. The trouble is with covering it is that you've got to make a cover that looks just as nice, and I don't really want to run my fingers through this. Someone else mentioned that guard, Casual Steel. Yes, I have had a look at that, and that's sort of what we're going to do, but I reckon I can cast something that's pretty nice and looks factory. That's what we really want to do, and we're going to make a cast guard to go here too, probably just around here, and probably with a bit of a tapered piece on here with a lip around it, just to keep fingers and things out of there, so that we can still reach up here and change things over, but it stops your shirt sleeves and things getting tangled up. So that's sort of another 10 years projects on this lathe. When we finish that, and tip this over so you can see this, I suppose you can see this. I think that's about the best lighting there, right? This pulley's here for an overhead drive, and I really would like to get a cutter frame or something running off that eventually. That was the theory with it. Reading those comments about thread locks, that's awesome. Keep them coming. But this pulley here, which come with the lathe, and when it arrived, it had been fudged up with PVC pipe and a block of wood and some body filler. And this one here was PVC and body filler, mostly with a block of wood through the centre of it. And it was pretty awful. Now, I had a friend who called in a favour and got a friend to put this spindle or this piece back on the end of it so that it sort of matches, but it doesn't. Because this one here, if we move this belt over here, is much tighter than this one, which is a problem. So they're not quite exactly right. It could be just a bit of camber on it, like quite likely could be just camber on this pulley, might fix it. However, I'd like to make a new pulley, and I'd like to put a planetary or planetary back gear inside it. I've got drawings to make a pulley with planetary back gear from Model Engineer years ago. That's another 100 years on this project, so it's not going to finish. $20.40, something like that. Yeah, I would expect. I make fun at people with ornamental turning lathes, right? Because you buy an ornamental turning lathe, if you buy or you build a Holtz-Apfel replica, and people do this, and then they spend the rest of their lives making a cupboard full of accessories that they use twice and then start the next one. So they've got this crazy cabinet full of amazing engine turn brass dovetail slides and geared pieces and accessories in nice fitted wooden boxes, which they've used to make probably one small useless box, because you can only collect so much dust with things like that. And then this is turning into a rant. Sorry. And then they start the next accessory, which is a little bit more outlandish and bigger job than the one before. Now, I don't have an ornamental turning lathe, as much as I think they're an awesome thing and they're beautiful, and I would love to build a Holtz-Apfel replica. I don't have room for it. I don't have the rest of my life to commit to one project, as much as you think I might. And I don't want to fit into that stereotype of elderly gentlemen that are dead from the ankles up. Sorry to anyone who might have an ornamental. I know young people who have them too, but they're an expensive thing to own. And I don't want to be that person. However, this lathe has been very, very similar to that, and it doesn't seem to have an end in sight. John says you can make a very useful box out of a billiard ball. I bet you can. Planetary back gear, I've got it somewhere on PDF, and I've actually copied it out. I've got the original magazines from about 1903. It's actually a round bed Drummond improvement. So there you go. I think it can be improved even more than that, but I would probably print one up at half scale or something like that and just see if it all works, and then draw it up and start thinking about it. But there's a fair bit of work in it. I haven't got to the stage that I've got to keep a lot of tablets in things yet, but it's coming. I see it all around me. I have got a label maker, John. Drop me an email, Casual Steel. Please drop me an email. I think I put my email down there. I didn't actually. I put the competition email in there, but it's screenshot this for later. Drop me an email if you want a copy of those drawings, and I'll fish them out. But kudos to you if you get it done before me, because it's a big job. Competition. When does the competition close? End of June, end of July, I think. End of July. You still got time, people. You should enter the competition. There's some good videos up there now. There's some really good stuff. I couldn't go through and label them all. I've seen them all. There's a couple of good ones recently, like stand out in the crowd ones. There was one from Go Create, I think, and there's one from PGS, which is, I think, probably one of the better casting videos that I've seen for a long time. One from Rustanox too, which is pretty awesome. Mark made a planetary reduction gear for a drill press. Everyone needs a bandsaw table, Craig. You make a pillbox. That's sort of a tool, John. Older people like them. JB, I got one from JB too. Awesome. If you've seen JB's video, I should have put that in the jolly links too. Sorry, JB. Go and check out JB's channel. Awesome video on a desktop laser cutter. It's a really come up nice, JB. I was really a little bit impressed with the way that came out. It's like factory, like I bought one. No, nothing homemade about that. It looks really good. He's been working on it for months. It's awesome. You should go and check it out. I'll lend you my hammer, John. So that's where we're at. I'm trying to sort out the lighting system. What happened when I set this up? I set this up with a interior lighting, like wall installation or under bench installation transformer, 12-volt transformer, which is part of the whole lathe system and is actually permanently wired in, and it's really nice. However, what I failed to notice, and I hadn't noticed for years actually, and it took me years to work out what was actually wrong, is that it's AC and the light globe's DC, so that made a huge difference. So I've actually hooked this up temporarily with DC, and I'm going to do something about wiring it in at some point permanently, so it's DC instead of AC, and everything works then. And then I can go to town with some lights on this lathe and on the mill, because we need more lights, really. Check out Tom's videos, Craig, and check out PGS today. He had a good video on the same job. So they seem to be a bit typical at all. Anyway, so that's what I've been up to. I did buy some inserts because I've had a terrible, terrible run with inserts. Right? I busted about 5 or 6 inserts doing a couple of little jobs, and wasn't particularly happy about that, because the ones I got, I don't know whether they're crap or whether they're just too sharp on the corner. Maybe they're 02s instead of 04s and they're a bit fine. Still experimenting with that. If I'm gentle with them, they seem to be okay. And probably that's all it is the actual corner radius, I think. But they might just be junk too, because they seem to bust. White plastic bag. Okay. This is my hand. Let's have a look for a white plastic bag. Have I got one? Probably not really. Here's one. Probably makes a little bit of difference. It does, quite a bit. Okay, next job is to 3D print some diffusers to carry some white plastic bags. Thanks, John. $5 shower curtain from Kmart works a treat. Okay, we're going to run the bag, because these lights are pretty sharp at the moment, and if we turn them all on, it's worse. Anyway, the other thing that I'm really trying to sort out is the lockout on this and the pedal system. Now, I bought this overhead drive with the original intention about 8 years ago. I bought this off eBay from Melbourne, complete, more or less, with the pulleys you basically see on it, and a couple of others which I've still got, which haven't gone back on it. And the idea was to put a lever system and a cable drive down to the floor to put either a pedal or something like that on there. I don't really like knee operated switches on something you've got to stand beside, because you're always standing in a different spot. So, interested if anyone's got pedal pictures that they can show me, but I've got them nutted out in my head, and it's just a matter probably of making patterns, or making a pattern and getting a couple cast out of aluminium and bolted on the frame, which we left sort of room for. But anyway, this lathe is a work in progress, and it always will be, I think. But we're getting there. Anyway, I ordered last week. Someone pointed out to me, thanks Craig for pointing this out, that Banggood have a setting where you can pick ships from Australia. I didn't know that until this week. How many years old? I was yesterday years old when I found that out, really. So anyway, I ordered these from Banggood, shipped from Australia about probably Friday, and they're here today, and we'll try them out. They've still got nothing written on them really, except made in China, and no labels, no nothing, which is a bit disappointing, but beggars can't be choosers. So yeah, it's pretty quick, and that's probably a really good service to use if you're buying from Banggood. Let's move back over the bench because this is getting a bit sort of. Thanks, Mats. Appreciate that. But then I've got to keep buying them too. Just going to skid that round so it comes past the bench here. Work out what we're touching on so that it doesn't all fall off. There we go. So places, this is all over the place, this. Hey, John. I think the Banggood ones are probably all right. Whatever these blue ones that I've got, they're either. I'm going to have a look at them under the. Probably pull the microscope out and have a look. I think they're just too sharp on the corners, but they certainly don't hold up particularly well, and I've probably been abusing them. I don't know if that was a shop tour, but it's kind of from one end to the other, and there's stuff here everywhere. Like, seriously, I'm going to have to spend a few days cleaning up here because I got projects happening, coming out my ears, to be honest. I was going to machine these yesterday. This was the plan yesterday, right? You're right, Mats. You're right. I was going to set these up and face the back of them. These are the tender wheels, and that's the project I'm sort of working on. But setting them up in the 4-jaw, because this is just a ground edge to take the like the fettled edge. It's not round, so they've got to be set up on this here. They don't have to be particularly accurate. Well, they do, but they don't have to be crazy accurate. So I thought, well, I'd like to set them up in a 3-jaw with reverse jaws. So that's why I'm getting a new chuck, because we run into problems there, because I can't set them up in the 4-jaw to be any good. I've tried time and time again, and I spent an hour messing around with it and still didn't get it even close. So, and then I've got to do, what, 6 more of them, 5 more of them. So that's my 4-jaw there. That's a back blade that I made, and it's really not particularly good thread in that either. It's really terrible thread, and we might have to upgrade that one at some point too. But that's a Bernard 8-inch 4-jaw. It's a pretty big chuck for that little lathe. You can flip the jaws in the 4-jaw, but they're too close in the middle, and then it's down in below these jaws, and we have to hold them on this part here, and then this sticks out past the jaw, and we're going to end up with problems. I really tried all those things. I've had these in and out about 4 times the last 2 days trying to get it to work. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. Are they flat? The wheels, I guess you mean, Joseph. They're flat on the back. They're going to be, these spokes are going to be undercut a little bit, but it's only enough just so it looks like it. So they're flat. The way to do it is to set them up and then face the end of them and sort out the spoke profile and drill them and ream them all to the same. I'm just going to put an 8mm H7 reamer or something through there. And then we can make a faceplate with a mandrel and a bolt to clamp them on, or a spigot sticking out with a bolt on it, and a bit of sandpaper under the back here on the faceplate, and then we can machine the rest of them and get them all the same. That's the theory. Just do every operation, one operation at a time, and change them all over and get them all the same and get them running nice. And that should be the easiest and best way to get them all the same size. Otherwise, one wheel won't do any work, or it'll work faster, or you'll end up with worn tyres. So there we go. Ah, yes, the outer edge, the tyres. The tyres have got a bit of a bevel on them. It's not much. It's 1.5 degrees, something like that. But they are beveled. Joseph, good question. They're not square. They've got a bit of a bevel in them. It's not very much. I don't know about a super glue pin, really. A super glue chuck for them, I would really like to see them bolted up, because they're cast iron of unknown quantity, like all cast iron. You have two castings exactly the same, and one of them's going to be a problem. So there we go. That's all the progress on this. Not much happening there. I've been concentrating on the lathe. What else? I got glue to glue Lara together. So Lara's sort of semi-clamped up, waiting for glue to go off, and then I can put some filler in her and some paint. 3D printers. Don't even start me on 3D printers. Like, they're terrible things, really. Where'd I get the wheels? AJ Reeves, Birmingham. Come from AJ Reeves with all the other castings for the tender. In case anyone's missed it, tender progress is really getting a bit heavy. With wheels on, it's going to be crazy. But we've got horn blocks, brake hangers. I haven't got screws yet from Bolt and Scale models, EJ Winter. They're still on their way, so these have still got cheese heads in them. But these are all bolted up. They're riveted on the ends. And horn blocks are riveted on and machined. And the buffer beams are all sort of slotted and fitted in, and everything looks really nice. So that's progress update there. I could have got in last night after I gave up on those and machined the axle boxes, which are these, go in there, but didn't happen. So it was an R&D, I guess, an R&D day yesterday, working out, making a video and working out, that might have been the day before, and working out what thread I had and what needed to be done and how I could get around the whole locking collar thing. Been reinstated with warnings. Well, John Cleese probably needed to go anyway. He actually, if you follow him on Twitter, he had a really interesting comment about that, but I can't remember what it was. He's made a fair point that the Germans find it funnier than the English, that particular sketch. And the way he put it was quite amusing. Right, this here, Gary's onto it. Don't forget the like button. This threaded spindle is 25 by 2.5. A friend of mine in South Australia did this for me when they threaded a back plate for maybe this is the one John Creasy made. No, my friend in South Australia did the one for the other one. So John Creasy made this one, which is the 25 by 2.5 gauge or thread gauge for the faceplate he made. I think. Anyway, Jim Davidson, we'll have a look at that. Go check out Jim Davidson. He's probably white supremacist. Yeah. Lara's a glue junkie, Warren. He's a Siberian filigree hamster. Poor Manuel. So I think John made that. I think John Creasy made that when he made my spindle. And that's the other problem, is that if I make everything inch by 10 threads, it's still got a screw on my dividing head, which is actually 25 by 2.5. And probably it will, but we'll have to just see about that. There's every chance it will, and it's probably going to be plenty good enough because it's not actually spinning. Good morning, Brian. So, no luck on the subscriber counter. I haven't really even looked though, so sorry about that. I just haven't even plugged it in to find out. It could be just that it needs resetting or refreshing. It seems strange that it dropped out with no warning, but we'll see. 62.50, something like that, yeah. We get to 10 grand, I might give something away. Something good. We get to 10 grand, I might give something good away. Like really good. Anyway. Progress on the Stewart 400, nothing. Got to make some piston rings. They're scaring me a little bit, to be honest. Patron, one of my patrons got in touch with me and says, do you want a Model T buzz coil? And I think that's coming care of Everett's or from Everett's workshop, care of a patron of mine. That's really awesome that someone's reached out to find that and sort it out, and it's on its way. So go and check out Everett's workshop because that's an awesome channel too. Really enjoy that. He gets things done. He makes stuff to the best of his ability and then improves them later. But he gets things made. He just doesn't keep planning stuff out and not actually making anything. Don't watch political crap. There you go. Don't watch political crap on YouTube. It only puts your blood pressure up. It's not going to change anyone. You're not going to change because you're only going to get more ingrained with how you are. And probably my biggest piece of advice to anyone, I think, and I'm not really the person to give any advice, but go to the polling booth and vote. Um, and vote with some sort of responsibility, and vote with a little bit of thought and not just emotion. So that's how your father and your grandfather voted, and it's probably not a bad idea to continue that. And I think that's what's probably missing more than anything else, is that people, especially in America where you don't have to vote, people just don't vote. Anyway, that's my little political rant. Don't watch that crap on YouTube. Coat hanger goes off every night. It's really awesome when I hang up my bag. It's pretty cool. Yeah, there's responsible people, Dennis, who do vote. I saw some. I see rants on YouTube, on Facebook, and I genuinely unfollow people who only post political crap. And it's a work in progress because there's a lot of them. There's about 1,000 of them or something that follow me or friends with me or whatever. And if you, as November gets closer and things get more out of hand, I unfollow more of them and probably delete the irrelevant ones. If I see someone's really tipping themselves over the edge, I kind of, you can't reach out with that. You just got to distance yourself. Um, you don't post anything, Dennis. Um, Mark, g'day, g'day. Go and check out Mark's channel. Might inspire him to make some videos that aren't upcoming announcements. Does a bit of ghost hunting, that sort of thing, and some pretty cool, like, industrial archaeology stuff. Go and check out Kernow HXB. But yeah, go and find people who inspire you and interesting people. I don't know why you're all hanging around here tonight. Go and watch Tom Lipton's video. Uh, and push yourself a little bit. And that's what it's all about. And when it all comes back to it, we are singular individuals, really. And 100 years ago, you had your family, you had your village, and that was your community. I think maybe we need to get back to that a little bit too. But anyway, that's what I think. And go and check out Dennis. Go and give Dennis Cutting Tool Designer. Go and give him some love and some subscriptions, because he might make another video one day, and then it'll surprise a lot of us. We will see. Yeah, go and subscribe just in case. waiting for all sorts of videos. Here's me spouting off about Banggood Tools, and Dennis is over there in the background shaking his head, and his blood pressure's going up, and he's probably going to have a aneurysm. And I apologise. The people didn't like the people who are different any more than we do now, and we kind of, you can be self-sufficient in your own little world, and it's probably not a bad idea to have a little bit of your week just doing that. And I guess that's where I'm at with it. Don't actually mix with people when I'm not at work. He's good. Gary is good. He doesn't say that. There is a really awesome video that I think Stan Zinkowski put up on his channel. Someone might be able to find a link to it on It's Okay to Be Okay, which is a 5 minutes of Tom just saying and okay, which is pretty funny. Awesome, JB. Good to see some updates on that. I think probably because I hadn't seen Tom's videos for a long time or anything from Tom, I probably put up with the thing, but he needs to edit back a bit. He really does, but all of us do that. Which brings us in a full circle back to TMC 2020, if anyone's remembering. I've put a link to the, if you're watching this, probably should have said this first up when people were still interested back at the beginning. I put a link to the rules and a link to the playlist and also a link to, oh, well, an email address to send your entry into. I'm definitely weird, Matt. That's where we're at. I'm right out there. Absolutely. But I'm good at it. That's probably a really good idea, Casual Steel, to do that. I haven't actually got out of the habit, really. I just edit it out in videos. Okay. This is like AA meeting. Toastmasters, like, what do we call them here? There's another name for the club where they all, Probus Club is one of them. You go and meet up and take turns at making speeches, which is kind of cool. Public speaking club, I guess. Elocution, not election lessons. Yeah. There we go. So it's probably not a bad idea, but it's probably a really good idea to listen to get a reasonably successful YouTube channel and then listen to what people say, and probably it's sufficient to watch your videos back again. I've started doing that and it probably makes a little bit of difference. I probably just put my fingers in their ears. There we go. I said it again. What else? What else? Oh, I bought some O-gauge wagons off eBay, right? Because I collect O-gauge template. Now, I don't say too much about it because people ask me about O-gauge locomotives and things, and they're all projects that I haven't done much with recently. Rostrum is another one, yeah. Probus is another one. Someone blocked Ted Rosa already. I'm kidding. Awesome. Awesome. Don't block him, please. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Sorry, Ted. Is he back? Craig, oh my gosh. I feel terrible. Oh my gosh. um, oh my gosh. Yeah, with great power comes great responsibility. Oh my gosh. Can't believe it. I'll ring him and I'll apologise to him. It's all good. It's a bit rough though. Is Ted back or not? Oh my gosh. I'll message him. He's probably been hacked, yeah. Yep. Craig's like big brother. I don't know how to do it from this end or what the best thing is or how this works. Uh, I can't see. Is he back in 300 seconds? Gosh, you see, that's why we shouldn't get political. That's terrible. I think he was sort of kidding, being Australian. Um, yeah, anyway, that's terrible. It's just for 300 seconds. Put in timeout. I think we should have a minute silence. I hope he comes back. Golly, freedom of speech, eh? BLM and all that stuff. Wow. Superman quotes. Yeah. Golly. Golly, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. I'm a bit scared of you guys now. Absolutely. Wow. Yeah. Oh dear. Oh my gosh. And he's like the world's biggest conspiracy theorist. Um, yeah, it's like the one guy that will send you videos about Big Pharma and 5G. And anyway. I hope he comes back. I'm going to text him. I'll ring him later because I've got his number. He's actually a friend. He'll be fine. I'm not going to say it, but Casual Seal started it too. Yeah, I feel terrible, except he doesn't have a. I don't think he has an actual conscience about it. He was a friend. Yeah. He's in Perth. So are we 300 seconds up yet? We must be getting close. Anyway, see you, Richard. Take care. Get some sleep. Hope Ted comes back. Anyway, I bought some O-gauge tin plate, which I've been liking and wanting. When it comes, it's not actually O-gauge tin plate. This is double O, so it's listed wrong. Hornby double O, which is half as big as O-gauge. It's pretty nice for tin plate rolling stock. It was pretty good fun. So I'm open for swaps. If anyone's got a Hornby double O collection that they want some bits for, there's 3 covered wagons. They're in pretty good condition. I'll post them out if you want to swap something. Anyway, I'm just putting that out there. I think he's gone. Anyway, he probably won't make that mistake again. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that happened. Wow. Sorry. I'll ring him a bit later on. It's still like middle of the day over there in Western Australia. I'm going to text him. Um, there we go. I'll give him a ring later. I get this video removed from YouTube with that. I can't ring him. You just want to hear me beg, don't you? Everyone just wants to hear me beg. I hope he comes back. Anyway. He's sitting on the side and don't put me on speakerphone. I'm sorry, Ted. I'm sorry. Hang on. Yeah, he says it's not funny either. Don't know if you can see that. Probably can't. He's sitting on the side. Don't put me on speaker and not funny. Sorry, Ted. Really didn't mean to do that. Just a little bit shocked that someone actually did. So we do say sorry. Joseph Durder says it is funny. But sorry about that. And Ted's off anyway. Anyway, I don't know if there's much else to say. I'll give him a ring at some point. What else is happening? Not very much. Really, there's nothing really exciting. I'm expecting lots of competition videos in the next week or so. So putting that out there. I am laughing, but it's a terrible thing to do to anyone, and I am sorry about that. Anyway, expect lots of videos for the competition. You'll know who you are. And project videos as well. Really appreciate you all tuning in. Everyone who's a new subscriber, and there's a few of you, that's awesome. I hope you managed to even watch this and probably even join in the live stream. We really aren't too bad if you're careful what you say, apparently. And really appreciate all the good things that have happened to me in the last little while because of you guys. That's awesome. So really, there's some amazing things that some of you have done, and you know who you are. You'll be okay, Craig. Anyway, I'm going to call this. Ted's dead. Yep, that is a Pulp Fiction reference. Thanks, John. Kevin's here. He is late. He's here for the last 2 minutes. And take care, guys. And see you next week. Expect to see lots of competition entries before then. And there's not much else to say except sorry, Ted. And I'm out. Be kind to each other, mostly.